All right, welcome to Let's Talk Podcast. As you guys know, I took a little hiatus. Your girl a little busy this summer, but I appreciate everybody for coming in. First and foremost, like, subscribe. You guys, we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know that's a big goal, but I know I can do it with your guys' help. So it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit that like, hit that subscribe, show some love and support to the platform. We put a lot of time and energy into this thing, and we can't do it without you. Without further ado, let's get
the views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Without further ado, let's get the show started. So first and foremost, I want to welcome back Ariel. Ariel Inspires. Y'all give him a little...
Yo, what's poppin'? Let's Talk Podcast. This your boy Ariel. We in the building. We about to make some great content for you guys. We about to talk about a lot of hot topics, a lot of spicy videos. We about to bring the energy. Matter of fact, we about to bring the righteous information, man. We gotta get right information. Right information, y'all. Right information. There's too much wrong information in the airways. There's too much wrong information on social media, on the internet. So we got to come in, we got to correct some things, we got to bring some right information. I'm excited. So,
yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you guys for having me on. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to Let's Talk Podcast. Again, if you guys are new here or if you continue in person, make sure y'all hit that like button. Share this with y'all family members and friends, man. Y'all got a lot of opinions that y'all be talking about around the dinner table, right? Now it's time to bring them opinions to the arena. Don't just talk from the sidelines. Get in the game, y'all. This is your time. Let's Talk Podcast. Let's do it.
Yeah, thank you for that love and the support, man. You were on here a few weeks ago. You did a show about high body count. Do you want to just speak on that real quick before we get into it? Just so you guys know, we're going to be talking about the accountability, whether it's on the female or the male, with some of the issues in our community. We'll be talking about different things, but ultimately we're going to be getting into accountability. What is it? What does it look like? And who needs to be accountable, and what do we do to make some changes? But before we get into that, you were on the show for a podcast show for high body count. So tell me a little bit about that. What was your experience? Let the people know what it was about, so kind of get them to check that out if they're interested in it.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So yeah, a couple weeks ago we did the high body count, right? And if you guys haven't seen that, that is on YouTube. So after this video, you guys make sure y'all go check that out. But we talked about high body count and the ramifications for the men and the women. We talked about high body count and how it affects the community at large, right? A lot of people wonder why the Black community is last on the totem pole. A lot of people wonder why the Black community is struggling to get out of poverty, right? A lot of people is wondering why the Black community struggles with, education, right? And when we don't talk about these subjects, that is another reason that adds to our ills, another thing that adds to our problems. So we talked about high body count and how it affects men and women, because men and women affect the community. We can only rise to the level of our standard, right? And if you got a high body count, you don't have no standard, right? If you got a high body count, that means you are out here just giving your thing up to any and everybody, right? So we talked about how it affects men. It can affect men. It can make their egos go crazy, right? They think they're getting all these girls, and now they think that they're the man, and they think that they this and that. So now they don't got to be humble. They don't got to show respect. They don't have to, keep themselves in a high character position because they feel like they got everything because they got a couple women. When we talked about for the women, it's a whole bunch of different things that can affect the women. And we talked about it because we want to help our women. We want to make sure that they understand the ramifications, right? Men don't have to carry a baby for 9 months, right? Men aren't receiving the same STDs and all of those things that are going around the community when it comes to a high body count, because our bodies is different. We have different, biologies. So it's a lot more ramifications when it comes to our women. So we got to make sure that we are teaching our women to keep their legs closed, save themselves for marriage, and not just give themselves up to any and everything that comes in their way. Right, we got to teach our women how to watch out for the red flags with these men, and we got to teach our men how to be men, how to control themselves, because men contribute to the high body count. A woman cannot give herself a high body count, Men contribute to the high body count. Men, control yourself, practice discipline, practice only giving yourself to someone who you're willing to have a baby with. If she's not wifey material, if she's not marriage material, if she's not mother material, and you know, like, yo, I would never have a baby with this woman. Keep it to yourself, man. So we got to teach our men to practice the discipline, and we got to teach our women to practice discipline as well. So again, we went deep, y'all. That was like a 2.5 hour podcast we did. So if y'all want to check that out, make sure y'all go check that out. High body count. What are the consequences? What are the ramifications? How is it beneficial? How is it detrimental to the community?
Yeah, and then we also talked about some solutions. You had gave some solutions on what women can do, what men can do to ultimately try to heal our community. I want to point out something real quick because this came up on the show, and a lot of times definition is important. We got to know what we're talking about. We can't use our own ideas and own definitions and perspectives on things because then we won't understand what the heck the other person is saying. So if we want to communicate better, we need to know, okay, what is he talking about when he says this? So just to reiterate real quick, before we get into the whole accountability, what would you say is a high body count to you? And then to like the majority of men, like if you had all the men you know in your life and you were to sit down with them, what would be a percentage you would say that they would consider a high body count? And then what would you consider a high body count?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for me, a high body count, I'm kind of strict, yo. So I ain't gonna hold you. If you got like three or more, man, you might be in a high body count, man. I don't know.
Three
I
or four,
don't know.
you
But
up there.
I
You
gotta
up
be honest. Though. I gotta be honest though, right? A lot of women had way more than three. I had more than three, so it's tough. But yeah, man, the closer you are to your purity, the better, man. The less bodies, the better. So I would say, just to give a little bit of leeway, let's say five or more. You're 25. You have five partners. I mean, you got a high body count, right? So five or more, high body count. Five or less,
okay.
four or less, you good. You good. You Gucci, right?
Okay.
So to the average man, the same thing. The average man, he'd probably say five too. If he say, "Yo, you slept with five people, then you got a high body count,"
Yeah.
you know. So
So what do
I
you
don't
say
know. I think
about
that's a
women? What
really
do you
good
say
question.
about
Though,
women?
what we may consider a high body count.
But what do you say
Five or
about
more, right?
yeah, we said five or more. That's exactly what you said.
Yeah,
You said
for
five or
sure.
more.
Yeah, I would
But
agree.
I agree with that honestly. If you're leaving your hand and you're adding another hand, or you're about to leave that hand, yeah, that's a you gotta have body count. But what do you say about women who and we even had a sister that came on here, you know, she said it's all about the person's perspective. Like if a person is in their mind 2000 is not high, then that person doesn't have a high body count. But if a person thinks that five, like you, three, actually, you said five for pretty much the majority, but three was for you. But if you say three or more is high, then that's what it is. So it really comes down to that person. So I think what I was getting from it, from her position was, do not let that disturb. Don't let that discourage women to think that okay, I've had 500 men sleep with me. That doesn't mean I'm not marriage material. You know, I think her what she was trying to do was give women hope. I think that's what her position was. Like, look, we've all done some stupid stuff when we were younger. We can't take that stuff back. You know, if you do have 2,000 was the big number she gave, but she was basically just trying to say if you had a large amount of body count, that doesn't mean you can't get married. That doesn't mean you can't be a mother or wife one day. But what do you say about people who feel like it's up to the person? It's not like a general thing that we should obviously know. Because my position, which I said it is, nah, it's like hot is hot and cold is cold. Now, yeah, you have different levels of hot, and yeah, you have different levels of cold. But if you touch something, you know if it's cold. If you touch something, you know if it's hot. It's no such thing as your idea. Now, you could say your idea, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still hot or that it's still cold. So if a woman sleeps with 2,000 men, I don't care if the man says that's not a lot to him because he had 5,000. It doesn't matter. It's still high. Like you can't tell me I don't see it that way. Like you still got a high body count. But what are your perspective on that?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. It's really hard to quantify, right? It's really hard to put it in numbers because again, it's based on each individual's preferences. Like if he like, yo, I keep running into women with 10 or more bodies, I'm just gonna have to marry a woman with 10 or more bodies, right? Then that's his standard, right? Because that's what he chose. So it's really hard to quantify what number is what for the individual. But we all know that If you get over that 100, that's too much. That's wild high. But yeah, I think she was just being exaggerating with the 2000. It's just like she was just giving out a random number. But I believe everybody definitely has their own preferences, and what you like is what you like. It's like if you like smoking cigarettes, you just like smoking cigarettes. I can't stop you from smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. If you're gonna smoke cigarettes, that's on you. Like if you want to deal with a woman with 50 or more bodies, that's on you. Is there, I mean, to me, her body count is high. To you, it might not be. So I don't
Okay.
even think that's like a fruitful conversation to even have. It's like if that's your preference. That's your preference, bro.
For me, I
But
think the
I mean,
reason
we gotta
why,
live our own lives.
yeah, I think the reason why for me it affected me so, for me, because we're going back, it's called Let's Talk Podcast. So, and you guys know, anything we talk on here, she already knows. I talked to her about it. It's no secrets hidden. Like we talk all the time, me and her. So it's nothing like that. But for me, the reason it affected me was because I know the damage it causes. And I don't want to ever, not that she was doing this, but I don't want to ever give a message out that, hey, you know, 2000, you can still get married. It's fine. Because realistically speaking, a woman that slept with 2000 men, she's probably damaged. Like realistic, she's damaged. She has a lot of emotional damage. She's probably been, who knows, touched somewhere. Her self love is not good. It's a lot of issues that's probably gonna come up with why she allowed 2,000 men to go in her. Unless she's like a straight freak, or unless she's like a street walker, maybe that's how she got the bodies because it was like a job. But if it's like just a regular girl, she's not a street walker, and she just allowing all these men to come in her, it's issues. She got something wrong. And I don't want our young girls coming up thinking, yeah, sure, it's still gonna be a rainbow at the end of the tunnel. When the reality of the situation is, a lot of women it's not. It's so many older women out there today that are 50, 60 years old, alone, depressed. Men too,
Yeah,
alone,
I agree.
depressed. And it's not good. We can't put a bow on it. Yeah, yes, there are going to be some people. You said you're right. Some people smoke, some people don't. You're going to find people that's going to be like, yeah, definitely. I don't mind. Actually, I like a freak. It's going to definitely be like that. But as like a whole, as a community, as a people, that's not a message that we should make a person think, because a lot of times it's not going to happen. Now, yes, it happens, but even a brother came on there and said she lowers her suitors basically.
Right.
The
I agree. I agree. It's gonna be harder for her to find a husband if she got all them bodies. So her chances of getting married are slim to none. Right. The higher the bodies, the lower chance of a happy marriage, let alone marriage at all. So don't even, just rule out happy marriage. You have a hard time getting married if you got all them bodies. So yeah, that's not the message we want to push in the community. We want to definitely push celibacy. We definitely want to push, keeping your legs closed. We definitely want to push modesty. So I
And not
agree.
that that's not that I'm saying that's what she was pushing. When you guys check out the show, definitely check it out, High Body Count. I'm not saying that that's what she was pushing at all. But the thing is, sometimes, even with you, that's why we're doing this show now. We say things, but we don't get to really expound on it sometimes because you're doing the show, it's live, all these different layers. So you don't really get to expound on it, get to get your full point across. So sometimes things can get lost in the sauce. And then before you know it, someone might say, oh, is this what you're trying to say? And you're like, no, I wasn't saying that. So that's why we kind of got you back to kind of let you talk about that. But with that being said, let's get into the accountability. And why are we talking about accountability? The reason we're talking about this is because I don't know. You ever see those people that are alcoholics when they go to those AA meetings and stuff? I think it's how many, I don't know how many A's it is, but I know it's a bunch of A's.
Alcoholics Anonymous is AA.
Okay, there you go. AA. So it's two A's. All right. So
Hmm.
AA. What's one of the first things you hear them say? They say, my name is John and I'm an alcoholic. It's like
Yep.
the first step to change, the first step to actually moving forward. You have got to acknowledge like where you're at. You got to acknowledge your struggles, and then you move forward from there. You don't stay in it. I would never tell a woman who has a high body count, walk around and say, I got a high body count. I used to be a whore. Like, I'm not telling you to do that. But you need to look at yourself and realize, okay, I done made some mistakes, I done did some things, and I need to make some changes. So what is accountability to you? What does that look like? And what would you say accountability is?
Accountability is first and foremost holding yourself responsible for your actions, acknowledging. your behaviors, whether they are right or wrong. You got to be accountable for all of the behaviors and actions you exhibit, right? So accountability, when we first look at it, we have to look at ourselves, because that's the first person we can hold accountable is ourselves. Now, as we get ourselves right, as we change our behavior and our actions, what did Christ say? Christ said, take the beam out of your eye, then you can take the beam out of your brother's eye, right? So now once we hold ourselves accountable, I'm not committing adultery. I'm going to go out into the community and I'm going to teach other men and women to not commit adultery. And if I see a brother or sister committing adultery, I'm going to tell them, you're committing adultery. That's wicked. That's evil. You dead wrong. You need to repent. And if you don't repent, I'm not dealing with you at all. And the Most High will have his vengeance out on you. You've been warned, right? It's time to change. So when it comes to high body count, we definitely got to hold ourselves accountable, men and women, because men contribute to high body count and women cannot have sex with themselves, right? So if you're contributing to high body count, first and foremost, you need to stop. Sisters, if you are having a high body count, you need to stop. Men, if you have a high body count, you need to stop. Hold yourselves accountable, saying, I was not made for this. God made me for something else. I have a bigger purpose. I have a bigger mission. I cannot lower my standards. I cannot continue to walk in these wicked ways, right? So first and foremost, hold yourself accountable. Now, if your brother or your sister holds you accountable, take it in love, right? Because that's what it is I'm holding you accountable because I love you. I'm telling you something because I care about you. I'm not telling you this because I hate you. I'm not telling you this because I have ill will towards you. I'm not telling you this because I'm jealous of you. I'm telling you this because you can hurt yourself physically and you will definitely hurt yourself spiritually. You will pay for everything that you do right here on this earth. You will have to give an answer to it. That's why I'm holding you accountable, because not only do I care about you, the individual, I care about your soul. I care about you going to heaven. I care about your spirit, right? So you got to make sure that you are teaching and living by these principles. So again, to hold yourself accountable, first and foremost, men and women, you have to do that individually. And then once you clean yourself up, get yourself right, prove that you can do it, prove that you can change your behaviors, then you go out, you teach your children, like, hey, we don't do this. This is not what our family last name does. This is not what our legacy is about. This is not good for our bodies, right? You teach your children, you teach your wife, you teach your partner, you teach the community, you teach the younger men and women coming up, like, yo, hold yourselves accountable. Don't be out here giving yourselves to anybody. Don't be out here lying. Don't be out here stealing. Don't be out here contributing to high body count, right? So that's how we hold ourselves accountable, by first acknowledging our behavior and then going addressing it in the community, because sometimes people don't know. It's rare that they don't know, but sometimes they don't know, right? But for the most part, people need to be corrected because they know what they're doing is wrong. They just got to be corrected on it, and they got to be held accountable. They don't have to pay some punishment. And if you got a homeboy or a homegirl that you know, a brother or a sister that's out here contributing to high body count and they just don't want to stop, then you got to excommunicate those people. You got to cut those people off, and you got to warn others about them. Like, yo, don't mess with this dude. He out here practicing unrighteousness. He out here contributing to high body count. He out here lying to women. He out here deceiving women. And the same thing goes for the women. You got to tell brothers, like, yo, watch out for this sister. She all about money. She all about, promiscuity. She not about to be a mother to your children. She just want to use you for your body and your money. So watch out for her, right? That's how we hold ourselves and other people accountable.
Now, what do you say about women? And we're going to get into a video shortly with Amber Rose. People who don't know Amber Rose, y'all should know her from being Kanye West's ex-girlfriend before Kim Kardashian. So Amber Rose is like a big time, I guess they'll call her a socialite. She's all over Instagram. She's an Instagram model. She does some other things. She worked in a few videos and things of that nature. But what do you say, before we get into the video, what do you say about women who say that men should have nothing to say about what these women are doing in the way of high body count, being promiscuous, showing off too much assets, and men, as long as they're willing to continue to go these places and be a part of this, they shouldn't have nothing to say to us. Just don't say anything. Just shut up and just, work on yourself before you got something to say to us. What do you say about women that have that attitude?
I say that is a very idiotic statement. That is a very counterproductive mindset. I don't even see how you can come to that conclusion and really believe yourself, right? That's when I think that these celebrities is being programmed, right? They like giving scripts, like, you go out here and say this, right? They gotta be on the puppet strings of some puppet master, because that is so dumb. How do you say men shouldn't have to talk about women? So we should turn a blind eye to what our sisters do? Like, we don't have mothers? We don't have brothers who have sisters. We don't know women in our community who we care about, who we know have children, who we know this affects not only them, but their children. And the children affect their future. Like, what are you talking about? We can't have a conversation about it. We can't watch something. We can't see the news. And then what happened on the news, we got to turn a blind eye to it. We got to say, hey, brothers, we can't talk about the news. Like, what?
Well, she's saying you can't.
You
She's
made
saying
it
you.
social media. You made it public business.
She's saying you can't talk about it until you fix what you're doing. So basically, her position is, as long as the men are coming, as long as those men continue to keep coming, as long as those men continue to keep coming to the shows, keep coming to watch these things, don't say nothing to me. So her position is kind of like what you were saying. You can unmute your mic. Her position is kind of like what you were saying. Remember, you said first you want to take the beam out of your eye. Then you go to your brother and your sister. So her thing is, as long as you're coming to see me, don't say nothing to me. But I think she's mixing up the consumers. Maybe not the guy who was talking to her. And I'm gonna play it real quick so you guys can see what I'm saying. The guy who she was talking to in this video, if you watch the full video, go to Drink Champs. You'll see the full video. It's like a few hours long. She was dancing, backing it up, twerking, and he was throwing money on her. Now they're sitting at a table and he's telling her, yeah, y'all women ain't got no talent, and y'all B's and H's and all that. So to give her credit, she's saying you basically were just throwing ones on me while I was twerking, but now you're sitting at a table telling me that I need to change. So do you kind of see where her mindset is going with this? I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm starting to see kind of why she's thinking the way she's thinking. Because I'm not gonna lie, if somebody was just throwing ones at me for twerking, but then turns around and tells me I shouldn't twerk, that would quite confuse me.
That's a fact. That's confusing. That's hypocritical, man. These dudes is weak, man. These dudes is weak. These celebrity men is weak. These dudes in the strip club is weak. They immoral. They don't practice righteousness. They worldly. They secular. It's idiot logic, right? Like, yo, we gotta hashtag that. Idiot logic. His logic is idiotic. It makes no sense, bro. You cannot contribute to the problem and then talk about the problem. You are a contributor to the problem. You should not have been throwing no ones on her. You should have told her, like, you dead wrong. I'm not being a part of this. I'm out of here. But he didn't. What he do? He gotta be cool. He gotta front for his man. He gotta show that he got some money. He gotta be down. He can't look like no sucker. So he's going to contribute to the problem by throwing money on her. That is idiot logic. He is a hypocrite to the highest order. And when you are a hypocrite to the highest order, you give idiotic logic that Amber Rose has, you give it a platform, you give it a foundation, you give it some reasonable consideration because you are contributing to the problem. If Amber Rose said, hey, you're going to pay for it, I'm going to keep doing it. And then he said, yeah, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. Like, what? Like, you're giving her statement truth. You're giving her statement truth. Stop giving her statement truth. When you do stupid things, you give people a stupid answer. They're going to give you a stupid question. Stupid questions get stupid answers. Stop asking stupid questions. Stop doing stupid things. Then you won't get stupid answers. Amber Rose gave a stupid answer to his stupid question, to his stupid behavior. So that's just idiot logic, man. We hashtagging that. If y'all watch this, man, hashtag idiot logic.
Let's play the video so we could definitely see what we talking about. Let's play the video, you guys.
Blame for that. Like, is it the girl's problem or is it the consumer?
Oh, this is not even just about females, guys. That was just the woman thing that I used. That was just one aspect.
But I just feel like guys should just never talk about women.
As far as
everything. Like, it should never be a conversation.
You said talk about them?
Yeah, like, as far as, like, okay, let's say, like, me, Kim Kardashian, Jada, Ari. Like, it should never be a conversation amongst men because it's like you have to then blame the consumer, right? Because these girls, us, are, like, known as, like, not having talent, but, like, we make a lot of money.
Well, no, Oh, well, no, I don't even. Well, you just showed me you was talented, so that's kind of like.
Yeah.
No, I get it, right? But like, so let's say
I like
like
this discussion. Keep it
No, this is a
respectful.
good discussion.
Everything
no,
respect.
It's a
no,
real
no, it's
discussion.
respect. It's always respect. It's always respect.
This, but,
right?
But this
I mean,
is why it
it's
should be
being
a
addressed.
conversation.
It's a
Right.
conversation.
It should be.
I just feel like when it comes to men, right? And
Yeah.
it's like hoes and all that, right? But like y'all stick y'all dick in everything, but then you call us hoes for the consumer loving us.
Okay, so you heard what she said. And remember, she has what I call tunnel vision. Basically, she's applying what's around her with the general population. And a lot of people do that. Well, if I have people around me that are prostitutes and they're still married, then therefore all prostitutes can get married. Or if I have men around me that stick their thing in everything, then that means all men stick their thing in everything. So I believe that she's kind of conflating everyone into one box based off of her perspective. So her position basically is men shouldn't have nothing to say as long as men are continuing to do what it is they do. So what would you say to the clip you just watched?
I'll say to the clip that we just watched that Amber Rose really needs to rethink her position, because I believe what she's trying to say is when you're with your brothers, you should not be talking about women. Y'all should be talking about sports. Y'all should be talking about money. Y'all should be talking about men's mental health. Y'all should be talking about other men. Don't talk about us women and put us down and shame us because y'all contribute to our behavior. You're trying to shame me for being a slut, but you're a slut. You're trying to shame me for high body count, but you have a high body count. You're trying to shame me for sleeping around, but you sleeping around. So again, it's all about not being a hypocrite, fellas. We cannot be a hypocrite. That's why she has this stance, because she feels it's a hypocritical stance. And she's correct. It's a double standard. In this world, men are not promoted, but men are definitely shown more love. Men are definitely appreciated. Men are definitely seen in high regards if they sleep with a lot of women. But it's opposite for the woman. If she sleep with a lot of men, she's seen as a slut. She's shamed. She's disrespected. She's disregarded. So she's trying to correct that double standard. But her ways of going about it is absolutely wrong, because she's not saying women don't be sluts. She's saying women be sluttier, be worse, right? Be way more promiscuous. And it's like that's the wrong message to teach our young women. So I think she just really needs to rethink her position, because she's promoting something that is dangerous for women's mental health, women's physical health, and women's spiritual health. And on top of that, the men need to stop being hypocrites and stop supporting these women and these strippers and OnlyFans and all these porn stars. Men need to stop taking them on dates. Men need to stop trying to have babies with them. Men need to stop giving them attention.
Now, I want to get into that real quick because this actually came up in the podcast we did about the high body count. So there's a movement and there's like different statistics showing that men are actually stopping that. Men are not having kids with women like they used to. Men are not sleeping around like they used to. Men are actually requiring standards and value. They don't want the lashes. They don't want the weaves. They don't want the plastic surgeries. They don't want that. And the men are saying, this is the position that came up on the show. Men are saying, we don't want that. And then what they're getting is other men and women saying, you know, well, it's your fault because you wanted it. So don't blame me now that you're getting it. And then you hear people say, and I think you even alluded to this, you said, if men change, then it'll be like a trickle effect. Like it'll be like a dominoes effect. If the men, the leaders, they had to say, hey, I don't want that, then there'll be a trickle effect. But what some brothers are saying is that that's not true. And the reason it's not true is because society has been designed and set up to basically cater to women with that type of mentality. For example, and then I'll let you respond. If a woman is married, I'll use myself as an example. Marry, have kids. If I step out, which I would not, but if I did, I could leave my husband, take all the kids, get spousal support, child support, probably keep the house, all of that. It's like 90 something percent of the time I'll get everything, and I'm the one that actually stepped out. So what motivation would make me want to change, even if the men are changing. If I have a system backing me up, telling me, I don't care if you have 5 baby daddies, I'll still give you more food stamps. I don't care if you have 10 baby daddies, I'll give you housing. I don't care that you get all the abortions you want, I'll keep giving you the abortions. I don't care that you cheated on your husband, I'll still make him take care of you. With that, so that the idea is telling men that they need to change is a good thing, but saying it as a domino effect that women will automatically get in line, it won't work as long as the system is set up to back women. So do you agree, disagree, the statement that I just shared with you?
It's conflicting with truth and falsehood. There's a little bit of truth to it, but there's way more falsehood to
Yeah,
that
get into
statement.
that. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so when it comes to these marriages, for one, if men were educated on marriage and divorce before they get into the marriage, they would go through all the legal ramifications and the legal aspects to not be on the hook for their wives' bad behavior, for their wives stepping out, right? You can get prenups, you can get different contracts within your marriage that state the rules that you want in your marriage. And one of those rules in the contract could be if we get married and one person cheats on the other, they're not responsible for that person anymore. So it's ways to get around it and it's ways to go about it, but most people are uneducated in the uh law system. They're uneducated in the rules about how law works. They're uneducated in about marriage and divorce. So there's definitely ways you can get around it. And when it comes to the system backing women, yes, the system will back women to a certain extent. They will give you the food stamps, they'll give you the housing, but who wants low level housing? Who wants low level food stamps, right? When these things are the bottom of the bottom. Who wants to put themselves at the bottom of the totem pole? So we have these women in these loving relationships, and you think they want to put themselves at the bottom of the totem pole? No, they don't want to put themselves at the bottom of the totem pole. Food stamps, Section 8, poverty, that's a last resort. That's not nobody's first option. No woman grows up saying, I want to be on child support. I want to be on Section 8. I want to get public assistance. That's not how women grow up. That's not the standards that they have. That's not the lifestyle that they dream about. That is a default lifestyle, a default mechanism based on the societal and governmental structure. That is supposed to be used as a bridge to get you from poverty to middle class. Because while you're working and on food stamps, you should be saving your money because you got to renew food stamps for every 6 months. So you can be making major bread that's 6 months. You're supposed to save your money, then get off of food stamps. Even if it takes you 4 years, you're supposed to save up your money for 4 years and get to a place where you have an emergency fund. You can afford your own house. You can live in a better neighborhood. You can afford your own car. Food stamps, public assistance is a bridge, but most people use it as a crutch. Most people are using it as a crutch. And the men that these women is going after, they not on food stamps. They not on poverty. These strippers, they making money. These women with these sex bodies, with these big breasts and big chests, these women are paying for that. The government ain't paying for that.
Called it a sex
They
body?
went out and make that money. So
You called it a sex
it's true,
body?
and it's a lot of falsehood in those statements, man. And we just gotta get to the truth.
Okay,
Yes,
so
what you're saying is true about the government will help, but at the end of the day, they're abusing the system. They're not using it
okay,
right.
so what I'm hearing, and you tell me if I'm right. Your position is men need to educate themselves before they get themselves in these unions in the first place. So even if the system is backing women up to an extent, you said, if men were more educated and more knowledgeable, that would in return make it a little bit more even regards to women being backed in the system to an extent. And then you're saying women that are being backed up in the system is not much to be backed up for. It seems like you're saying like it's nothing appealing, even if they are getting support from the system, it's not really anything that's desirable. So at the end of the day, to try to use that as a tool, because this is a statement, to try and use something that's not desirable to prove that no matter how much men change, women will continue their behavior doesn't make any sense, because what you're using is not desirable. It's nothing that a woman even inspires to have or do. So it's no way to use it as a way of saying that, okay, women, they have these provisions, therefore that's why they act out. You're saying it's not much provision, so why even use that? Is that your position?
Right. Yeah. My position is they're trying to take the 10% of truth in their statements and apply that 10% of truth to the whole general population, man, because they see the outliers, right? Here's an outlier. NBA player's wife leaves him, right? The NBA player's wife. Now she's getting 60,000 a month or 60,000 a week or whatever, right? A million a year, let's say. That is less than 1% of the woman in the world, man. That's not the goal. That is not the mission of most women to find a basketball player and then leave them. If you do, you're an outlier. You're in a position that is an anecdotal experience, right? Red pills love using that. Like, oh, you can't use anecdotal experience. You can't use outliers. That's the exception to the rule. Well, what they're doing is using the exception to the rule. Because the women who making 30,000, who marries the man who making 40,000, she not gonna go to court and get $10,000 a month. She gonna go to court and get $200 a month. What's she gonna do with $200? He don't have no money to give. She don't have no money. So when we talk about average people, the average salary is 42,000 for a man and 40,000 for a woman. They're not getting these big payouts when they get divorced. They're fighting over who's getting the car. They're fighting over who's getting the house. They're fighting over who's getting the children. They're fighting for custody, right? Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So these women aren't getting married. Most women are not getting married to get a divorce, for one. So somebody telling me, oh, she just want married to get a divorce, that is idiot logic.
So speak on that real quick about the divorce rate then, since we're on this topic. They saying that 90% of educated women file for divorce and 80% of women in general are filing for divorce. Why are all these women filing for divorce?
I have no idea. We might have to look at the
Well,
numbers. We have to look at the reasons
I looked it
why
up.
people are
I
filing for
looked up,
divorce.
I looked up the top five. Infidelity was one of them, but like the top three, it actually wasn't infidelity. It was things like, what is it called? Where I guess they can't agree with each other. Um,
Irreconcilable differences.
yeah, that was like the top one. It wasn't
Okay,
infidelity.
irreconcilable differences in divorce is not a good reason to get a divorce. So if these women are filing irreconcilable differences, it's just because they're not humble and they're very arrogant and they want their way whenever they want it, how they want it, and if he don't give it to them, she's gonna get her way another way. And when you file irreconcilable differences, what is the motive behind it? Because irreconcilable differences is so broad. Is it because of abuse? Is it because you want to have one child and he want to have three children? Is it because you want to move to another state, but your wife want to stay in the state that y'all in? So it's just too broad, too vague of a topic to even try to quantify until we get the reasons why these women are having these irreconcilable differences. Did y'all go to counseling? Did y'all get therapy? Why is it irreconcilable differences? What is the issue that y'all having that y'all can't see eye to eye on? And that is a societal construct that is definitely not in favor of the man or the woman because the man can go to court and say irreconcilable differences as well. So it's just not it's not a fruitful topic because we don't have the reasons to quantify why they getting a divorce. So we're not gonna
I agree
come
with that.
to
We really don't know why, but I kind of look at this how I look at it, right? Either if it's 90% of women filing for divorce, even if every reason was valid, every reason was like, yeah, you definitely should have divorced them. Why are 90% of women marrying men and they're not seeing the red flags? Because no one forced you to marry him. These are not arranged marriages from family. These are people who are willingly going and getting married. So why are 90% of women waking up to a point in their life where they're like, oh no, he's just not the one for me? And it's like, if it was even like 50-50, I'll say, okay, fine. But even if every man was wrong, it's like, what are you doing? Why are we not being able to come up with better suitors so that we don't have to go down this pipeline of divorce. Because as you know, divorce is not good, especially if you got kids. It's not a good thing. Separating your children, having two different homes. Now you getting with a new man or a new woman. Now they got to still with stepdaddy and stepmama. It's not a good look. So since we're talking about accountability and we're seeing 80-90% of women are initiating it, where does that accountability lay? Where does it fall?
Well, first and foremost, it falls on the woman, the person who initiates the divorce. The accountability is on them because what avenues, what routes, what strategies did you employ or apply to help you and your husband stay together? Did y'all get counseling? Did y'all get therapy? Did y'all talk it out? Did y'all sacrifice for each other? Are y'all being selfless or are you being selfish? And most of the time, women are really selfish. They think about themselves. They think about what's good for them. And it's hard for them to put themselves to the side and think about someone else. So if these women are initiating these divorces, it's because they just arrogant and selfish and prideful. Because again, we have to find out why are you initiating divorce. If you don't have a good reason, then you are prideful. You are arrogant. If you say, "Oh, I initiated the divorce," did you go to counseling? No. I initiated the divorce. Did you go to therapy? No. I initiated the divorce. Did you try to talk it out with your husband? Yeah, maybe. So it's like you didn't even put no effort into it. Did you say for the next year I'm gonna be selfless? I'm gonna give myself to my husband. I'm gonna try to work this thing out, right? Like, what are you trying? Did y'all talk to anybody? What differences are y'all making? Are you uh trying to sacrifice? Is he trying to sacrifice? What is he doing? Because if the woman is like, yo, I tried counseling, I tried therapy, I tried helping him, I tried doing this, but he don't want to change, then you picked a bad partner and that really sucks. But you know,
You said you
it's
picked a
just
bad partner.
you gotta sometimes you gotta once you make your bed, you gotta lay in it. Like you picked a bad partner, that's yours. You gotta make it work. If you don't make it work, then you're gonna have to answer to the most high. So I don't recommend nobody get no divorce unless it's like some extreme circumstances like adultery and abuse and not mental emotional abuse, but physical abuse. If it's mental and emotional abuse, then you need to separate from that person until they get counseling, until they get therapy. But that don't mean you can just leave the relationship. Y'all just separate and y'all don't remarry. As soon as you remarry, you committing adultery. So it's difficult, man. These
That
things
marriage
are
thing, that marriage thing is serious.
marriage is serious business, man. Like you get a entrepreneurship coach because you want to be a better entrepreneur. You get a personal trainer because you want to be a better athlete. You get a financial coach because you want to make better investments with your money. You get a mechanic because you want them to fix your car. But you can't get a marriage coach. You can't get marriage counseling to help fix your marriage, to help fix you as a person. Our thinking is backwards. Our logic is suspended. And we need to start being more strategic in the things that we do. Like, yo, go get you a marriage coach, go get you a marriage counselor, go get you some conflict resolution skills, go develop yourself personally, right? Go do everything that you can to save your marriage, and then go do it. Try to get your partner to do everything that he can or she can to save the marriage. So we gotta put more effort into our marriages, man. We can't put our marriage in the back burner. We can't go to the gym and work out knowing that we're not even working out within our marriage. Like we read books to get a promotion, but we won't read books to better our marriage. What do women like? It's a ton of books out there that can help you save your marriage, but nobody won't read them. Nobody won't put in the work. But you'll put in the work to compete with your homeboys in the gym. You'll put in the work to put the makeup on, learn how to use makeup to look better than your girlfriends when y'all go out. So we put we put a lot of energy and effort into the wrong things, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So when we look at, to get back on the point with the accountability, so to wrap this up, when we're looking at accountability in our communities, we're talking about high body counts, which we know leads to diseases, uh, children with not having mother and fathers in the home, even some cases unalive, like people are literally committing crimes because of these love entanglements and stuff. So when we look at all of these things in our community, that's suffering, the poverty, all of this stuff that's surrounded around this whole thing of accountability, what would you say would be a good balance for us to get back on track to try to bring some structure, some healing to our community, to our brothers, to our sisters? How should we look at this thing, and how should we attack this thing moving forward?
The number one thing with accountability, man, again, I sound like a broken record, but the truth just got to be put out there, man. You got to change yourself first. Change yourself first, and then you can change somebody else. Then you can create a group, a community of men who you can teach, who you can share these principles with, who you can hold accountable, right? Like if I get with a three group of men and I say, yo, we're going to the gym at 6 o'clock, and there's only one of them there at 6 o'clock, I can call the other ones up and say, yo, y'all supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. Y'all lied to us. Y'all let us down. Get your butt to the gym as fast as you can. Then I can hold him accountable. But if he continues to show up to the gym, not show up to the gym, I just gotta excommunicate him. I gotta go find somebody else. I can't just continue to try to hold him accountable when he doesn't want it. If she don't want to be held accountable, leave her alone. If he don't want to be held accountable, leave him alone. They might get away with it here on earth, but they will not get away from God. Everyone will answer to the Creator. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you atheist. I don't care if you spiritual. You going to die. And when you die, you will meet the Creator. You will meet the God of Israel, and He's going to judge you for everything that you've done on this earth. So you might can fool some people, but you cannot fool God. So let that be your accountability partner. Let the wrath of God, let the fear of God keep you from doing wickedness and promoting promiscuity and lies within the community, man. So accountability starts with the individual always. And it starts with teaching and bringing information to your community. And if that don't work, get out of that friend zone, get out of that community, get out of that group of people who do not want to change because they do not listen. They don't take correction well. They will not be held accountable by anyone but themselves. Stop wasting your energy, stop wasting your efforts, and move on.
Move on. You heard what the man said, move on. With that being said, man, thanks again for coming on. I enjoyed today's conversation about accountability. It's important, man. I know I hear a lot of people say, just worry about yourself. But the problem is we're a community, we're a people. We can't just worry about ourselves. Now, of course, people who don't want to change, we cut them off, we move on, and we build with people that want to build. But ultimately, we have neighbors. We have people that's going to be around our children. We are community. So we can't live in this society thinking, well, I'm going to just do me and that's it. We've got to try to get the message out there, like you said. What was the hashtag you said? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Idiot logic.
Hashtag idiot logic. I'm going to see if it comes up on the hashtag. Thanks again for coming on, Ariel Inspire. Share with the people where they can reach you, where they can check out some of your content, because you got a lot of stuff going on. So first and foremost, share with us some of the different ministries you're working on, and then also share with us how we can get in contact with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me on. I truly appreciate it. So again, my name is Ariel Inspires. You can find me on Instagram, Ariel Inspires, YouTube, Ariel Inspires. Facebook is a little different because Facebook won't let you change your last name. So Facebook is Ariel Wagner. I do have a brand page on Facebook, which is Ariel Inspires, but I don't post a lot of content there. I do most of my content on Facebook on my personal page, which is Ariel Wagner. That's Wagner for Wagner. And some of the things that I'm working on right now, you can catch me on YouTube. I'm about to put together an entrepreneurship series, teaching people how to be entrepreneurs, how to take advantage of their time, how to take back their time, how to take back their health, how to take back their mental health, right? Because this world is sucking us dry of our energy. So I'm about to put together a series to help people start a side hustle, to start a business, to help them get a little bit extra income and take back control of their time. Also find me on YouTube. Check out my website for my books and my t-shirts, which is Ariel Merch, ARIELMERCH. I wrote 2 books. The first book is titled The Student Success Mindset, which helps students from middle school to college. And then I wrote another book titled Remember This, 101 Life-Changing Things to help you maintain motivation and relieve stress. I wrote that book to help entrepreneurs and professionals who want help with their mental health, who want to have more energy, who want to impact the communities, who want to change their lives. That book gives you strategies and coping mechanisms to help you deal with the stresses of life, to help you deal with breakups, to help you deal with things not going your way. to help you stay persistent, to help you manage your time, to help you develop gratitude, to help you develop a better attitude towards life, right? So you can get both of them books on www.relmerch.com. And that's all for me. So make sure you guys follow me on all platforms. I post most of my content on Instagram. That's Ariel Inspires. So connect with me. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Make sure y'all watching Let's Talk Podcast. So if you catch this on the replay, make sure you guys like and subscribe to Let's Talk Podcast. We're going to continue to put in the work to bring you guys content, because there's a lot of things going on in the world, and y'all want righteous opinions. Y'all want righteous answers. Y'all want the truth of the matter, and not just the opinion of the matter, and not just the worldly view of the matter. We're going to bring y'all the truth of God to the matter. We're going to bring y'all the fun, engaging, and entertaining content. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to Let's Talk Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you again, Ariel Inspires, for coming on. We're going to be doing some more stuff. If you guys want to donate, you can go to, did you put it on here for them to donate anything to your platform? Do you have Cash App or anything? Because y'all, we got to show some support, man. Support black businesses. This man writing books, doing merch, clothes, all types of stuff. How can the people donate if they like to donate to your ministry?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you. The Cash App is $Ariel Inspires, y'all. ARIELINSPIRES. Ariel Inspires. Real plain and simple for y'all. Ariel Inspires on everything. And I appreciate all the likes, comments, the subscriptions. I appreciate all the donations. Continue to support, and we'll continue to bring you guys this great content.
Thank you. And again, you guys, thank you for coming to Let's Talk Podcast. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to also be streaming this on Debate Talk for you, so you guys definitely show some love over there. Hit the like, subscribe, and keep continuing to support the different platforms. We out here trying to do it, support black businesses. We're trying to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you again for coming on, Ariel, and I look forward to doing some more content with you. If you guys have any requests, anything you guys want to have the brother come on and speak about, throw it in the comment section, and we'll definitely bring them back on. We make time for this because it's important. We are busy. We do have lives, but we make time for this because we want to bring change in our community and to our people. So till then, let's talk.